Welcome to the Midnight Hour podcast, brought to you by Cemetery Records. Your host for the evening will be Evil, aka Grim Voorhees.
Alright, bastards of the radio waves. We survived. We made it to episode number 2. Ruthless is the sequel. Part 2, bigger, badder, and stronger.
Like, we're going to be like Die Hard, just keep on going.
Die harder. We radio harder on this. Alright, first things first, this episode is not brought to you by Dr. Pepper, but it is highly sought after and enjoyed tasty beverages over the airwaves, because I'm fucking fat, and I fucking get parched during all this rambling of nonsense.
Yeah, well, we're also Texans, so it's kind of obligatory that we have to drink Dr. Pepper.
Isn't it actually a Texan drink?
You're alive, you got blood and Dr. Pepper flowing through your fucking veins. Oh, little notice for the OCDs out there, if you hear a slight buzzing in your audio pleasure here, get over it, because we're fat and the AC is on in the background and we got a scrub set up because we give us no fucks. Pretty soon we'll be like Joe Rogan taking, was it DMT and shit, kick back with all the luxury headphones and all that fancy shit.
Mushrooms and shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, well again, first things first, I'm Evil Dead. I'm joined, he came back for the sequel, motherfucking Edgar. He's back at this bitch, but tonight we have a special guest. He makes a cameo.
What's up?
Motherfucking Mr. Gritty. He is in this bitch.
How's everyone doing?
He decided to join us on the trip down memory lane because I told him about it. And he was like, I will be there for that.
The good old days.
The good old days.
Hey, so tell me about any movies you've seen lately?
Yeah. Okay, first of all, I'm a nerd. You know this. And I keep up with the current happenings of the movies going on, like the Spider-Mans and all the fucking comic book shit. Well, the newest one that I saw was, of course, let me get my tasty Dr. Pepper beverage. Not brought to you by Dr. Pepper. The motherfucking Spider-Man, was it Homecoming? Okay.
No.
Far from home.
Okay, Far From Home. This movie, okay, up to when the MCU started, they did it right. They started building they call it world building, or however they do it. They did it right, where sequels aren't really sequels anymore. They're just another issue of an ongoing ultimate story. They don't feel like sequels.
Yeah.
It's kind of reinvented how you see movies now, where characters come in and out. Well, up to this point, I mean, you had Avengers and you had the last 2 Avenger movies. Okay, those were the end cappers, I guess. I don't really know how that phase shit works with the new phase.
Phase 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Man, it's so convoluted at this point. I think I started Endgame, and not Endgame, Infinity War. I started Infinity War, and the first 5 minutes I was like, what the fuck did I miss? I thought I was caught up. Apparently I'm supposed to watch a Thor movie that I had no interest in watching.
See,
like, fuck.
Actually, I think it was Ragnarok, I think?
Yeah. But have you seen Infinity War?
yeah. So I'm caught up to the most recent. Okay, so I was thinking, okay, after they did what they did, I don't have no spoilers, but at the end of the Infinity Wars, you're like, okay, so Spider-Man, this new one, will be the first story out the gate after the whole collapse of the storylines with Captain America and all that shit. Okay, so I went and saw it, and the movie overall was Marvel. It was how they do their movies. It had the same feel, the humor, and all that shit. That was fine. But the one thing that fucking twisted my fucking nipples was how they fucking destroyed Mysterio. And have you seen the movie before I go around?
No, I haven't seen it.
I don't want to spoil it on you, but I'm saying, like...
Dude, you can spoil away, because I'm not going to watch it. Like, I've learned early on that with the Marvel movies, any superhero movie, I'm just going to watch that shit at home.
Okay.
I know it's meant to be watched in a grandiose manner, but fuck that shit.
Well, first of all, the basic rules of these new ones are basically, their dilemma is, as a studio, they're like, okay, how can we capture, because they finally are learning the whole thing about, we want to milk this tit of this property, right? Like, say Mario Brothers, the original movie, fucking atrocious. They want to milk the property and get all they can from it because of the name and the recognition, what it is, but they want to completely go in, some asshole goes, no, let's just do it like this, and completely rape everything that made it what it is, and so they just milk the name. They don't give a fuck about the property. Well, Marvel seems like they finally...
Yeah, you gotta give them some fucking credit for Mario, because they had nothing to work on. It was just a fucking... a bunch of pixels jumping around doing weird shit.
Well, they
still can't really world build off of that. You gotta... Because... if you go watch it right now, it's one of those movies that it's so bad that you fucking love it.
It's kind of like the original Street Fighter. It's so whack, it's fresh.
Dude, and that's another one. Oh, man. And
I watched that recently.
You know what? I'm going to say this right now, unpopular opinion. Fucking Mortal Kombat Annihilation It was still good.
How fucking dare you? How fucking dare you? All right, what I was getting to was, over the past 10 years, whenever they started this MCU thing, they finally clicked in their fucking brain, wait a minute, let's make these movies like the source material. And when they started doing it, they started being good, and they followed that game plan. Now, here's the dilemma I'm getting to. Basically, you have these beings, these characters, this world that comes from the pages of a comic book. Of course, they're outlandish, they're wild, how they look, the tights, and all this shit. So the dilemma from the white guys in the studio is, how do we give a realistic interpretation of these properties without it being corny and make it good? So that's what they've been doing this whole time. They've kept the characters to look pretty much like they do in the comics, and that's what's fresh. Like Hawkeye. Here's what pissed me off about Hawkeye. Left field, they didn't ever put his fucking mask on. Like the new Judge Dredd, he went in and said, okay, I'm taking this character. He went and read 300 issues of fucking Judge Dredd, and he told the studio, I will not take my mask off.
Yeah, but have you seen The Raid? It came out before Judge Dredd, and I don't know if, because if what you're saying is correct, then they built the movie based off of the graphic novels.
Yeah.
But with The Raid, it's the same premise. You got a drug lord that takes over a whole apartment building, and it's just a non-stop fucking fight all the way up the Tower of Death. Dude.
Like the old Bruce Lee movie, goes up the towers and fights the bosses?
Pretty much.
Pretty much, dude. But it's just you know what we need to do is like watch these movies and then fucking.
Yep. Again, what I was getting to is, it depends on how you take these characters and how you bring them to life. Like the whole Wolverine thing pissed me off, where these fucking studios, they would make fun of the property, the source material, where they poke fun at they look like panties or they look like tights. Bitch, you're the one milking this fucking tit. You're the one wanting to make all the money off these nerds, but you want to make fun of them and make fun of the source material. Like, bitch, it's some hoe ass shit.
But the thing is that they never gave fucking Hugh Jackman the fucking suit ever.
It was in the lost footage.
If you two are in the fucking boat of they needed the original stupid ass suits, then y'all can get the fuck out. That won't work in the movies.
But that's what I'm saying.
I think they tried to pull it off in
they cameoed
the
it.
newer universes.
They cameoed it.
Yeah, well, but still, then it worked. But if he's coming out in that gay ass fucking check out my dick,
that's what you have to do though. But back to what I'm saying though. Go ahead.
Well, actually, they did use a jacket that looks similar to the.
They did the
colors.
little MCU leather jacket phase.
Yeah.
They all had the phase with the colors. I understand all that. But what I'm getting to, of all that, the whole point of rambling, all that shit, was about Mysterio. The way they portrayed him in the movie was dope as shit. I thought the way he looked was cool with the globe on his head and the shit. And then they turn around again, spoiler alert, they turn around and say the motherfucker's not real. They say it's all smoke and mirrors. You already did that with the Mandarin in the other fucking movie. You run another character. That's what pisses me off about these comic book movies. These characters are established in the history of Marvel, and y'all just spend them like expensive ass. Oh, it's just $5,000 bottle of wine. I'll pour it out.
But but here's the thing. Well, we know that they're separate universes, just like Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilms. They retconned the whole thing. All the books, all the comics, they're no longer canon. But they still pull from the source material. So we know that the MCU is supposed to be different. And that's usually and this is coming from someone that doesn't read the comics out of like, it's a fucking legacy thing. And I don't want to be the guy that just starts to read them just to be like, look at me, I read superhero comic books. Like, shit that I read is like the 4-part series and like the short stories and shit. Because that's where all the bread and butter really is. But
well, the point of my anger is that the stuff that they talked about in the movie, they finally were touching on awesome things. They were talking about the multiverse, talking about all this shit, and they brought in Mysterio. It was dope as shit. Me and Rob was geeked. They said, okay, after he did the snap and all this shit, supposedly he fucked up when it blew out, and it caused tangents and caused all these mess ups in the universe, and it destroyed. Or originally, that's what I heard, that it somehow that affected Mysterio, and he came from his universe into ours. He explained the elementals. Destroyed them fuckers. They're just Disney props floating around with strings. Like, how are you gonna? But the main thing was Mysterio. It's like, dude, that pissed me off. Like, why are you gonna make him fucking fake? He could have fought Doctor Strange. He could have done so much shit with that character, but now he's fake. So how are you gonna play it off? Oh, the real Doctor Strange come from another universe. No, like now they're talking about how what he said may not be total lies about the multiverse. I go, all you'll have to do is cut that shit out. You could have literally.
What they're doing.
Oh, it pissed me off.
It's
dude.
It's a cheap effect to basically like leave so many open-ended loose ends to where like they can gravitate towards one or two things, and then 100 or so people are going to be thrown off and go, "Oh my god, I didn't expect that twist."
That's fine, but not at the expense of destroying a character like that. They did it with Crossbones. He looked like a pretty dope character from the comic books. Killed him off. He ain't shit. You know, one of the Captain Americas, they blew him up and shit like that. It's like, don't do this shit, man. Like, that's what pissed me off. The Spider-Man movie, and plus, beside the movie itself was just kind of eh. But that's
Really?
what killed it. Like
That was going to be my next question. Aside from source material and bullshit aside, like, is it a good
it's
turn off
it's
and
worth
watch?
watching, of course. It's
Okay.
worth a watch.
Still
Again,
fun?
level wise, it's at the same hum, engine roar of the other movies. It's just those were the aspects that turned me off. I was like, man, that just kills it for me. Because I'm a nerd, man. I was like, man, I want to open up, because the universe thing will open up possibilities for Deadpool, fixing the continuity of saying, how can he exist in this room? He ain't good enough on the level of the wholesomeness of Disney. It could have killed X-Men, the new X-Men, if they reboot it. Oh, they've already, this would have been the moment where they touch on, which they did, talking about the multiverse, but they fucked it up by saying, oh, it's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, but then again, like I said, they can always come back at any fucking point in time and go, gotcha, multiverse.
Well, I hope that still may have a chance, but it's just the Mysterio things will piss me off, is that they made it where he's not.
I think the reason why they did that is because Spider-Man is still owned by Sony. So
It could be random
that's
reasons.
the reason why they did it like that.
I may be bitching, yeah. I could be an asshole. Like, I could be bitching. They're like, look, man, this is the reason why. But I'm just saying, from what I saw,
So for a 2-hour movie, how is it pacing? Like, does it?
it feels just like another installment of a Marvel movie.
Well, that's my problem also with. I mean, it's 11 years, and of course it's formulaic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it
like-
has to be. There's 4 classic story archetypes.
What you gotta kind of figure out though is that Marvel is divided in half. So there's 2 different Marvel universes.
So
It's like, and it's
Flicked up.
Well, it's
from
like the
their
Hulk.
Feet up.
they said the Hulk
Jesus.
can't have his own movie because of legal reasons. He can only be in ensemble films. He can't be in a standalone Hulk movie. It has to be
Well,
Hulk
you know,
piggybacking off of the
I
movies.
would say the legal issues would be because of the what was his name?
Eric Bana.
Eric Bana and the Edward Norton films. I think they got sued and was like, look, you can't do another one because it's fucking stupid.
But what's funny is
Hulk is the dumbest fucking character.
But what's funny is, though, those movies, they were like the stepchild at the beginning of the MCU, where people are like, do they count? They're like, not officially, but there are sequels. Our stories pick up after those. Same guy comes in, the general guy, and so they are, but they aren't. It's just all weird technicalities.
It's all kinds of fucked up. That's what it is. But if you actually watch Venom, at the end of Venom, this
No, again, that fucking shit. The problem with Venom and Spider-Man is that Fox, they're holding on to their little nest egg. They want to have their own little cash cow with Spider-Man.
You know what it is? If Marvel didn't blow up like they did in such quick succession, they could have easily acquired all these Fox properties.
I call it the
cheap.
Marvel wash. Once before they debut a character into their universe, before you're worthy, they got to give them the Marvel wash, which is a reboot, rewash. Like Wolverine would have to get the rewash.
It's to retain the rights, because
Yeah.
you know they, like back in the 90s, they did a Fantastic Four film that was never supposed to be released. They did it to still retain the rights to Fantastic
I didn't know
Four, and then a few years later they did the one with Jessica Alba.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then the
I thought those
second
were
one.
okay. People also
Man,
roasted them, but
see, that was also in that weird time where
that was before the
they-
MCU.
comic book movies. I think the only ones that found their footing, like the ones when you grow up, like me for instance, growing up, like it's a cheesy movie, but when you fucking watch it, it's a comic book movie in the sense that it comes off like a fucking comic book from film, which would be Tank Girl. When I was a kid,
That was
I didn't know-
1995.
I didn't know
something like
fucking Blade was a comic.
that.
you
Men in
know?
Black
Spawn.
originally. Men in Black.
Spawn.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, I knew Spawn was a comic because that was like
Yeah.
like everyone's older brother fucking fucked with Spawn, and if you didn't, you were a bitch.
Well, like with the Spider-Man thing, they have lots of dilemmas about Venom, because Venom's supposed to be ruthless, eating heads and doing all this shit. Well, what I was saying was, Fox and Marvel have their problem where Fox is like, I want to have my own little thing going on here. I'll let you borrow these characters, but it's like, they wanted to do supposedly, okay, and Venom, people were bitching and say, well, is he going to see Tom Holland? And will that confirm that he's in the MCU? They're like, well, Tom Holland may be in it, but he won't be the same Tom Holland. hinting that that's
What?
Venom in another universe and that's another version.
God
I was like,
damn
no,
it.
just
Such a fucking cop-out bullshit,
because
bro.
they want their own universe. That's the fucking
God,
problem.
it's like a Netflix series. They were like, the incident in New York, they couldn't even mention the fucking Avengers. It's so fucking corny. If you can't, if all these fucking people can't get together and have each thing be referential to each other, then don't fucking
I told
do
you,
it.
it's called milking the fucking tit.
It's fucking stupid. Then you have all these fucking idiots. Like I said, I don't read the comics, but I'm also more on the side of the people that grew up and hold that shit dear to their heart. Meanwhile, you got this fucking kid who grew up watching fucking Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, who never touched a comic book in his life, going, "Well, it's fine. MJ's black. It's it's fine."
Yeah.
And it's a fictional character. It's stupid.
See, that's another topic
That's
that
just
we
a
want to
topic.
get into about, again, is that considered politics about the whole, they keep changing genders?
It's identity politics, but it's the thing where it's a forced upon thing.
Like I stressed, okay, let's get into that just for a second then. I've stressed in the first episode, I'm a self-proclaimed neutralist, I guess, where I don't choose sides, I choose to
filthy centrist.
yeah, whatever you call that shit. Well, now with that shit though, I'm not a racist person. We've already went into this fucking in depth. Everyone that knows me, you know what I'm saying? But
I'm the only white guy in the room.
I don't like.
Actually, he's half.
But I don't like cheap pandering. I don't like pandering. And here's my argument about that. To me, if you have an established character, you don't have. Okay, I understand all the minorities, all colors, all races. They all want to feel like they can be a part of something. That's cool. I have no problem with that, and they should. But the problem is, you should not pander and change a character just to pander to a demographic. Like, for example, it's two-sided this bullshit. Like how Nick Fury, originally he was a white man. He had a white strip in his hair,
And
which
no one
again,
cared.
no one cared. It's not a problem. When they rebooted the universe back in the early 2000s, the guy that redid Nick Fury, he said, "I envisioned Samuel L. Jackson playing him, so I turned him black," which was fine. Samuel L. Jackson did a badass job, and he became that character, and so that ended up being a weird kind of thing. But again, I'm not bitching because they turned him black, or he's Samuel L. Jackson. I'm bitching because they turned him black. I don't know what the politics are as far as Nick Fury, but nowadays they're changing everybody to feel like they need to appeal to these minorities. I was like, you don't have to do that. Like, say Wolverine. I heard people saying they want him gay, they want him any other race but white, and so on. I was like, dude, it's fucking comic books. You can.
He's already asexual. He has no sexual preference or drive.
See, I don't know all the details,
So
but I'm saying as far as
there's your
this,
minority right there.
Well, first off, you gotta remember Deadpool. That motherfucker does everything.
Polyamorous.
what I'm saying is,
He's the boss.
like, they don't have to do these things, be that bold and piss all these people off. It ain't about being racist. It ain't about me being mad about it. It's about you pandering. If you want to make a character that's just like Wolverine, in 2 seconds you say, okay, there was another experiment. There was a guy. He happened to be gay. He happened to be Filipino. And he has the exact same powers. He looks exactly like Wolverine. They could do it to that level and have a new established character without destroying
And
what's
that's where
already
I'm
been
on the
built.
fence about this, the Thor thing, because I know about the comics. I know that's a source material.
About her becoming a girl.
But
It's more of a mantle thing now? Is that what it is?
Actually,
they're doing it. They're doing it at a time where it's a weird water to tread, because pandering should be like. And what sucks is there's people that are just too ignorant to the fact that they are being pandered to. I fall for shit all the time.
Mm-hmm. And that,
Juggalo shit.
yeah, like the Black Panther thing. I know that's as soon as they go, oh shit, no you didn't. The thing about Black Panther, again, I'm a nerd. When I read these books, you've had that guy. What'd you say his name was? The black guy. He even defends it, saying, "You shouldn't have to sit there and pander." Like, I'm not. I don't see all that shit. The people that bitch about this and obsess about it, they're the ones that are fucking racist, because you're basically saying all I care about is the race factor. If it don't please me, I want to change it. I go, you're being a hypocrite and you're being an asshole. Like the Black Panther thing, I will watch the movie because I'm a fucking comic book nerd. I don't give a fuck that he's black. I don't care about all that shit. I don't want it shoved in my face to like, look at us, look at us. You're racist if you don't like it. I was like, no, I don't like that shit. I don't like people deciding for me how I feel. You know what I'm saying?
I remember growing up and we had goofy characters to play with video games, and then like the Lara Crofts came out, and no one was sitting there like, no, there was no second thought to. When you played Street Fighter, you played as Chun-Li, there was no second thought like, oh, I'm playing as a girl, I'm going to lose. There was nothing like that. Even though the devs did chunk off 10% of their life bar because they think women aren't as strong. But that's a whole nother podcast.
See, we're getting off topic like we do because it's easy to do in shit like this because there's so much bullshit that people won't talk about. But the MCU, I like what they're doing. I like they finally captured, like DC needs to take some notes, and they're getting good. I think the Shazam movie was dope. People didn't like it. I thought it was cool.
That shit was
had a refreshing feel to it. I
it.
enjoyed some Easter eggs in that thing. So they're okay. But I'm not going to bandwagon hate on something because everyone else is. I point out stuff because whether you like it or not, I'm like, dude, I don't want to be force-fed this or told to like this. You know, I know they're in a dilemma. They're trying to please everybody. I understand that. But you don't have to sit there and destroy all this shit to try to think that you're doing good. I'm doing so much good, you know, like, and then turn around and then throw it back in our face. Ooh, look what we did. And you're an asshole if you don't jump like and 100% agree with everybody else. Like, they burn you at the stake, you know?
The thing is that the world's becoming real pussy flat.
Well, that's just, we're in the pander generation. We're like a pander culture. Like, I mean, again, and that makes me sound like an asshole. I'm not trying to say, you know, it has to be all white and the whole. It just goes on and on. The mermaid thing. I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah, neither do I. I mean,
but that's a blatant pander move. They're doing that as like, you know, tell a new story. Be original. Use your fucking imagination. Come up with a whole new story. Quit selling us the same shit.
Yeah.
Lion King, shot for shot, same movie.
Well, I mean, look at Black Panther. It's a shot for shot Lion King ripoff too, and it
kind of is, yeah. And Lion King's a ripoff of Kimba the White Tiger. Don't get me started on that shit.
Hell yeah.
Don't get me started on that shit.
Lion, right? White Lion.
Kimba the White Lion, wherever it was, blatantly stole that shit. So, again, ultimately, you can step back and be like, y'all are fucking nerds. It's just, this stuff doesn't even exist, and you're taking it way too serious.
Yeah, but they're also the ones that take it way too serious. They're,
you know?
And argue for it, but they're the ones that they're just arguing for the sake of argument, and it's really ridiculous. Like,
yep. Because bottom line, speaking for myself, I don't bitch about these little petty things that people are bitching about. Like, I don't read a comic book, oh, that guy's fucking black, that's fucking annoying. Like, it ain't. Yeah. I'm not like that, so don't throw me in the bag and make me have to fucking suffer with everybody else with your supposed solution to this problem. I'm like, no. You can just fucking use your fucking imagination, quit selling us the same shit back to us, and saying, oh, well, we're going to put this little shot, it's totally different now. I was like, no, you don't have to do this. Like I said, I'm not trying to be
some tits and some pussy on.
I'm not trying to be that guy. But about as far as changing characters, again, let's go cast Tom Hanks as Shaft and see how well that goes over.
Dude, that'd be
funny as fuck.
Dope.
That'd be
Again,
funny as
it's
fuck.
pretty fucking funny, but you get what I'm saying. It's like, I don't like this hypocritical shit. Like, I ain't saying I got to save my white characters. It's not like that. It's just in general, like, dude, anything. Like Liu Kang, I wouldn't want, you know, say a bunch of people just left field for some reason get pissed off. I want Liu Kang to be gay. I want Liu Kang to be a fucking Mexican. And so they go and change him and make him a Mexican guy.
Louis Kane.
Like, why would you do this?
Just like cocaine.
Be creative. Use your fucking mind. Come up with new characters. Quit fucking milking the tit and quit fucking pandering.
Oh, but if they do it your way, then they're just pandering to
exactly.
you.
I'm not asking you to pander. I'm just telling you, you know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you.
Be original. Just do you. Because it was so much more fun when it was just you.
Like, I wouldn't want them. I wouldn't want them to change a black character to any other race.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want them to. You're like Jax, Mortal Kombat. It'd be weird if they suddenly, oh, he's a fucking white guy now. We make him like Stryker. Yeah. It just goes on and on. The race don't fucking matter to me, but I know it does to a lot of people. But a lot of people, they've been conditioned to obsess over this shit and make it about that. I was like, you're yourself becoming what you're bitching about because it bothers you.
To be honest, bro, I'm kind of glad they haven't made no fucking Mexican superheroes yet. There is, but they haven't made no movies out of them.
You know, like another one that they
because they're getting deported.
Like
dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Machete. Machete is a Mexican superhero.
He is a Mexican superhero. He's dope.
Danny Trejo is the Superman.
I'm talking about right now, though.
Oh.
Like I said, we ain't trying to be dicks on this. We're just giving our opinions. You know, again, we could be wrong. If you don't like it, that's fine. But I just don't like all that shit. Now, I got way off topic about these fucking characters, but the point is, Mysterio should have existed, and he should have been.
When him and Spider-Man were fighting, did Mysterio hit him with the 619?
No.
Okay.
He hit him with bricks and laser beams
and all kinds of shit.
But anyway, that's my rant for the moment as far as movies. We're going to get into now the epic journey of what we talked about on the last episode, and that is the fucking trip down memory lane as far as the DFW music scene, underground, horrorcore, the juggalo, whatever. Okay, let me open this little book here. Storytime book. It's story time, boys and girls. All right. Tonight, we're going to take you on a trip. Okay, first of all, I'm old as fuck. I have been here for quite a minute in this quote-unquote scene. B's been here for quite a minute in this scene. Edgar, he's relatively new. Now, the best analogy I can come up with as far as explaining this scene in DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth, general North Texas area, is like the fucking Bible. You got the Old Testament, you got the New Testament. Now, they always talk about the old scene, and they talk about the new scene. So a lot of the new kids don't know shit about what happened before. It's like on Titanic, it's been 84 years. Like, that's what it's like. We was there back in the day. I could still smell the paint on the microphone. I could still smell the new vinyl on the fucking club. Like,
I can still smell the normies in the crowd wondering
what
the fuck is going on.
All right. For all you fuckers that don't know, whether you're a juggalo, whether you're just an average underground listener, okay, I had people, my sources told me that they had brought up a question to the scene. And I won't say any names for the sake of whatever. And some of the answers he got back was basically, he was, again, saying to start shit, he was basically saying something about horrorcore in the scene here. And someone answered him saying, well, horrorcore's never been really big around here, in so many words. And that just rolled me out of my fucking chair. Now, let me explain this to you. I'm Evil Dead. I created a group in 2002 called Secrets of 13. Now, the only reason why that group ever came to fruition is because of what ICP did. They did their thing. Let's go to the timeline real quick. They sped up, keep going up to Riddlebox. I'm gonna recap this story. It's kind of paraphrasing. I may be not, tear me to the bone if I say something wrong. Okay, they came down here to Dallas. Let me explain this timeline to y'all so y'all can understand this about why horrorcore is this scene and horrorcore is a deal around here. Okay, before I get fucking pissed. Okay, when they came to schools in Dallas-Fort Worth area, I think they even came to Brewer, one of the schools I went to. They're passing out Riddlebox samplers and whatnot. B, you correct me anytime if I'm wrong. Okay, they did that. They came in, basically imagine, they're like invaders from another dimension. We didn't know shit about horrorcore. We didn't know shit about that culture, that style of music down here. They basically beamed in, hey, check this shit out, and beamed out. Now, that shit sit there and marinated. And these people were slowly like, holy shit. The kids and whoever that listened to this shit, and it started a little seed.
They picked out all the kids that looked like they would go to a rave.
Yeah, and they planted that seed and dipped the fuck out. Now that seed slowly began to grow. So from that time, there was nothing. Okay, now let me explain this another analogy. This scene, like at the time, did not exist. It was barely growing. Now, from between the time Riddlebox all the way up until we released our album in Dallas-Fort Worth, we released it in January 13th of 2003. There were no physical representatives of horrorcore in this fucking area. Not here, not Dallas, nowhere in between, no nooks, no fucking crannies. We were Wi-Fiing, by that time, we were Wi-Fiing off the culture of Detroit and the whole Juggalo thing, right? So our scene was not tangent. It was here, but it wasn't. You get what I'm saying, if that makes sense. There was no representatives. Up there you had Esham, you had fucking Twisted, you had, or House of Crazy, you had whoever, ICB, and so on. We had no one down here until we fucking came. Now, correct me if I'm fucking wrong.
Oak Cliff Assassin and Big Lurch.
See,
Big Lurch was from Dallas.
I remember Big Lurch. We killed some people and went crazy. I remember that guy.
Yeah.
But he didn't even know what the fuck horrorcore was, did he?
No.
I don't know, but because I think he was just.
He liked dark shit.
I think he was just doing I think he was just a big fan of Gangsta Nip, and I don't even think Nip called it horrorcore.
The roots are always going to be ambiguous about. They're going to say who created it. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the history here as far as how that kind of music became a thing here. Now, at the time, like I said, no one had come out with nothing until we did SOT. Now, when I did SOT, I will tell you now, my influences, of course, was Esham and fucking House of Crazies. I modeled that whole feel. If you listen to old House of Crazies tapes, they're grimy, they're shitty, the beats are pingy, and they had that dope, just that old sound. And I remember telling Assassin out of my fucking lips, I said, bottom line is, at the time we were doing it in 2003, I said, no one's really doing that style down here. Yeah. I was like, so let's strive on low key, not to be them, but to continue what they were doing. I was like, let's try to keep that going and see if anyone notices. It just as a little challenge to ourselves. And so we did that. Our first album, the beats, we tried them, they were kind of shitty and it had this weird feel to it, but it did good. People were tripping. And Scotty D, of all people, pulled me aside one day and was like, hey man, y'all, when I listened to that, you reminded me of House of Crazies. And that was that was a great achievement to me and myself. I'm like, dude, that's what we went for. And this fool got it.
Yeah, see, and that's where I'll step in because, see, we had our own little thing out on this side of town.
At that time, I didn't know y'all.
Yeah, we didn't know each other, but, and like, we knew Scotty D before we knew Scotty D was fucking Fago Lovers, bro.
Yeah, I met him on Halloween of 2000. Yeah.
We met him. There was a thing back in the day, back before mini gatherings, back before like all this shit. It was the Church of the Dark Carnival. It was ran by Scotty D and some other woman. Sorry, Scotty. I love you, brother.
There was Jason. There was a big dude named Jason, his wife Kelly, and there was another dude named Damon, and some other people.
And it was just some.
It was just their little clique, their group.
It was basically like a GeoCities. Like, I don't know the domain name, you know.
Church of the Dark Carnival, okay.
I don't know, yeah, but.
On our side of town, again, we were by ourselves. As far as me and my people, before I met Scotty and them. Because I was like, man, we're alone in this. It's like they live, put their glasses on. We're the only ones seeing certain things. We're by ourselves. Well, in 2000, Halloween of 2000, we went up to a music store in Richland Hills, somewhere up there by where the old Furs used to be. And Scotty and his whole group was there waiting to pick up both Bazaars and pick up Freak Show. And he's like, holy shit, there's more juggalos. It blew our fucking wigs. Because I come from Northside. But very rarely would I see anyone sport any ICP shit in Northside. So we go click up with them, and that was the start from that day. We clicked up with them, and then the juggalo scene, that's when it started to take hold as far as growing in size. That was around here. But I'm talking about the music history around here.
Clarify. We're talking about horrorcore or the rap scene in general?
Just the
horrorcore,
underground.
There was a underground rap scene and stuff like
that.
that.
I'm not talking about regular rap. I'm talking about the scene that the majority of us and all of our friends to this day
where we branch
are part of.
Yeah.
You know, you got your Neros, you got the Suaves, everybody that's in this scene now as it is, the scene that they're in, enjoying being able to walk on a stage, it was off of the things I'm talking about from the past with Nick, everybody. So I was like an audio biopic that I'm trying to walk you through about the little steps that created this scene. Now, back then, a lot of y'all may not remember Bronco Bowl. It got tore down. A lot of ICP shows came through there. And I remember sitting out there at the very beginning before I released our CD. We did a sampler. We pressed up 100 samplers and it had 2 songs on it. When ICP came down for the Wraith, their deal, we were passing them out at the haunted house, Hangman's Haunted House. We passed them out. And so we were trying to get out. I was nervous as shit, you know, never even put nothing out. And that's when I gave it to Scotty and everybody, and we were trying to do our thing. Well, around that time, we'd hang out at Bronco Bowl and all of us, when we go see Blaze and all that, I remember seeing FTW. They hadn't put nothing out yet. I remember us hanging out there. There was McNasty was there. Yeah. I'm not sure where he's at. I'm not sure on his history, but I guess he's from around here. He was there kicking it.
I think he's from Oklahoma.
And he was new at the time. You know, we were all green. I remember FTW telling me, hey man, we heard y'all are working on some shit. We got some stuff. Would you come check it out in our truck? We went and bumped it and listened to their shit. And then when I met Class, again, with that scene that come together, the merging of Scotty D's group and all them and all of us, our boy Spider, he passed away in 2007. At that time, he was living in Southside. And we were all hung out at his house. We would freestyle, and my friend C and everybody, we was there every fucking day just doing music, fucking around. And at some point, I guess they had met Class through Scotty's people and through all them. I didn't know Class at the time. And so Class would come over, and that was the seeds of when we made ATX. Because I honestly didn't even talk to Nick when he was there. We just didn't really talk. Like it was Class, C, and Spider. And they're always freestyle. I didn't really freestyle. I always wrote my shit, you know. But they had fun. They made a whole fucking album. What's it called? I have to find that bitch. Klondike Boys and shit like that. I gotta find those CDs.
Yes, that's dope. That's dope, dude. That's some good shit. I'm pretty sure Nick would love that shit.
I had those albums saved somewhere, and I'll find them. But then at some point, Nick was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna start a new group. It's gonna be called ATX, this and that." And I'm in the background. I was cool, you know, listening to them talk. And Nick, he just said, "Hey man, you know, you're in this." And I didn't know that. That's what the fuck. Because C didn't really want to do it. C was just going, I do this for fun. So left field, Nick immediately told me I was part of ATX. I said, that's dope, you know. So me, him, and Spider started working on this shit. And so that shit was out there. And by that time, if y'all don't know Assassin, again, I'm kind of jumping between doing ATX and SOT.
You're all over the place.
My partner, Assassin, I'm going to put it out there, he was a dick. This kid, we met him through wrestling. I used to be a wrestler, or wannabe wrestler. We used to wrestle every time on the weekends and shit, and I met him. He was like, hey, I I heard you've been trying to rap and this and that. I want to rap too. I was sitting in Spider's living room at that time on the phone with this kid for like an hour or two.
Did you look at his yearbook photo and you're like, how did he get such an ego?
Yeah, I didn't know this kid really from
Jesus.
shit, just from wrestling.
He was a rock star and he shouldn't be.
Yeah, and he came at me and said, hey, I want to do this. And I explained it to him. I said, look, man, we're going to do it this way, this and this and that. You ever leave, I'm taking this shit with me. And we laid everything out. So we went and we came together and we did Secrets of 13. Now, before Secrets of 13, the very, very beginning of it was called Secrets of 17. People don't know about that.
Fucking nerds.
And that
Fucking little nerds.
and that was originally...
Oh,
that
God,
was,
that fucking irks me. I wish I could have gone my whole fucking life without knowing.
I know. Well, now you know. So, but that was the pinch off the juggalo thing. So I changed it because I said I don't want to be associated with... I don't want them misconstruing it about the 17 thing. So I changed it to Secrets of 13. But that time it was me and
See,
Spider.
you were smart then. You should fucking tell the motherfuckers out there now.
Oh, I gotta tell you about that. I'm gonna get to this.
We'll get to there. We'll get there.
Baby steps. Baby steps. Okay.
17%ers.
We finna roast your fucking wigs off your forehead.
17% is right.
So, SOT was doing this thing. We made a new album. Didn't know what the fuck we were doing. Put the album out. Did good. And again, as far as this scene, notable characters at that time, Nick didn't really do horrorcore, I guess I can say. He did his own. He was a juggalo. Nick's to this day still a juggalo. But I don't want to speak for him. I just don't really know what style he officially claimed back then.
Dude, I'm going to just say this now. He's his own thing, really. He just has fun. He
Yeah.
doesn't give a fuck. I love it.
Yeah. And so, but at the time, ATX was kind of, it wasn't horrorcore. I would talk about dark shit. I've always been about horror. I told everybody, no matter what I do, I'll always throw some horror shit in their bodies in the trunk type of shit.
Yeah.
It was like a crunk type of rap, whatever the fuck it was. But it was dope.
It was about the time we were like heavy synth and the fucking Lil Jon shit was really
It was on and cracking. But that was pretty much it. There was no, as far as artists that stayed consistent, there was no one else around here. It was all Wi-Fi again from Detroit. And so as the years go by, you know, Assassin's being a dick. We made our second album, which I thought was dope. I was kind of, had some ifs about it. But it got a lot
good.
better. Yeah. But by that time, Assassin did some stupid shit. I don't want to go into that. You know, 'cause he ain't here to defend himself. But I was like, look, man, can't do this no more. And so we split it off. SOT died. But I said, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna keep doing music. Now, Assassin, he quit. I heard a motherfucker go sell. He sells cookies, and at the time he was selling cakes or delivering bread or something he was doing. I'm not trying to diss the guy. I'm just saying he didn't want to do it no more. So he was out. So at that time I was floating, you know, but I was still trying to do my thing. And I was hanging out with Nick, everybody at the time, and we were floating. So I just couldn't. I don't know. At that time, I didn't want to be a solo artist. I wanted to be in a group because I just enjoyed it a lot more. Like, I don't know. I'd done it for the whole time, so I was like, man, I don't know if I want to do a solo artist. So I really did it for just a little bit. And then at some point, one of the shows, I forgot what it was called. It was in Dallas. There's a show we were doing. It was probably 2007, I think it was. I was approached by a guy. I think his name was Mikey. I think it was. Sorry, bro. It's been a long time. And he was like, hey, man, I'm with Fist Inc. And he's like, I wanna fuck with you, on some shit. He goes, we're out of Oklahoma. I was like, all right, cool. And so I went to Oklahoma. And right after that show, I think it was October 13th, 2007, I think it was. Went up there, talked to him, and then just fucking around. And then I went back in January of 2008, fucked with him. So I kind of joined up with Fist, doing a lot of shows. At that time, they started making traction. You know, they had their group, but they were in Oklahoma. They weren't really part of here. But eventually, they would branch off and come down here and make another little side faction, Fist Inc. Green. You know, that's
Rific in them.
Yeah, that's where they had started. So there was a big group of people down here by that time. You know, but this whole scene, again, it was built on horrorcore. Like, as far as the scene I'm talking about outside rappers. I'm not talking about local footwear rappers. I'm talking about rappers in our scene. You know what I'm talking about? Our scene. It was built on the back of horrorcore. Yeah. And a lot of people, again, I don't mean to sound like a dick about that, even if you don't agree with me. I'm just telling you, I was like, hey, man, that shit was built.
But you're leaving out large, important chunks of shit.
Throw it in. Anything that I'm forgetting, throw it in.
When we were fucking around with the Church of Dark Carnival,
that goes back a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, Cody and I, we had met you at
my release party.
At the release party. You clotheslined our friend Jordan from the window of a car.
Cody, okay, let's explain this. Y'all know Cody Z, right? Well, back then, he was a tall, lanky, skinny kid with Beavis hair. With red Beavis hair.
He had that fro.
He had that fro going on. He was just a young kid, you know. And we were having a release party at that game joint out there in Grapevine.
Yeah, GameWorks.
Yeah, we had a private party out there. We rented the room and all that. Spider Dolphs was there. And I remember these two fools come up to the door knocking, and Spider was fucking with him. He's like,
We wanted to be down so hard.
how did y'all hear about the dude?
Well, it was because of the Church of the Dark Knight.
Ah, shit.
Had a slight technical difficulty. His
go.
bitch ass.
We're gonna edit that in post. We're gonna edit that in post.
Yeah.
No, it was. That's what I'm saying. You got because if you're gonna be talking about like networking and
Yeah.
stuff,
I want to talk about it as much as I can recall. I want to put it on
The
here.
Church of the Dark Carnival was just a forum, and we'd all chat and
Y'all
stuff.
come across it.
And then because Cody, he was the one that was always. He would be the one finding these weird horrorcore artists on SoundClick and shit like that. That's how we found Necro and shit. And we would just fucking what this weird shit. The Necromancers, I think they were called. I don't remember. But he found them, and he's like, Cody, we can meet. They meet up, and they meet up in the area. There was Coulter's Barbecue at Northeast Mall that we would go to.
Yeah.
We'd go bowling at the fucking bowling alley out in Hearst.
Yep. That we go. That was our other meeting spot.
And we would just go to these random spots. We'd mob the
IHOP. We
mall.
lived at fucking IHOP.
And then after a while, because this is pre-MySpace, and then after a while, Gary,
Remember
little
Gary?
short dude,
G-Dub.
G-Dub, he started coming around. That's when like 3 Ring and all them started coming around, Loki and everybody. And then before you know it, we're at the point where G-Dub's like, hey, can I take a picture of all y'all? I think we were at a park, and we were just grilling out. We would meet at parks sometimes. He's like, hey, I'm going to take a picture. This is for my forum, Dallas Juggalos, and boom. That's when shit really started popping off, and that's where, because Gary, he'd get everyone, he would do what Beardo does now. He would get everyone together, take a picture, and then he would promote his site. People would go to his site.
It just started to grow.
And then we'd be on the site just clicking around, like, hey, you want to meet up here? And it just grew.
See,
into
we
a
hadn't
thing.
even met them at that point.
And then all these dudes, this is where I love them. Like, I'm pretty sure Nick was involved. They all started throwing in their own shit, and then we would throw these shows. And then that's when they'd bring Shy One. I mean, Loki came down sometimes, and Bloodshot. This was all fucking before, Tales from the Brotherhood and shit, or the Opaque Brotherhood or whatever was dropping, and it was before Black Rain. Okay, sorry, I'm old, but to say that it was never big, or to say that what we have now isn't because of shit like that, because the Opies and all these people that are.
Opie was there, yeah.
Little pop-up shows, they come to these shows and they see this older generation, the Knicks, they see the grind, and then they spring up, and then a lot of, but that's the thing with, I don't want to be so braggadocious and say pioneering, because I was just a fan of this shit, but I'm saying us then, if you want to use the analogy of us being pioneers, it happens with pioneers. You get the people in the Bronx starting this little fucking scene that they called, that ended up becoming rap and hip hop. No one really knows about that. People know the fucking Wu-Tangs, but it's also a generational thing. Like my favorite era is the 90s, and there's a weird indie thing. I'm gonna start a podcast on that. To say that what we have today isn't sprouted from the shit we were doing back then is kind of ridiculous, because we put on some fucking killer shows, dude.
Yep.
Fucking Intrinsic and the Fall. What was it?
Intrinsic and Fall Guy.
Or Fall Guy.
Yeah.
But and then they came down.
FTW was putting on shows at that time.
Yeah, and I don't know how we came across them. I think it was just people putting up flyers on Dallas Juggalos, but we ended up getting real cool with him, and he sent all of us free CDs and shit. Hitting them up on AIM.
That
AOL
show we
AIM
did,
and
yeah.
shit, Instant Messenger and
FTW, they were putting on shows themselves. Because back then, dude, they would just throw shows at you. You
Yeah.
didn't have to pay for shit. A lot of times, you just go in and rock the shows.
It was everyone just fucking. Hey,
scene
we're
was
getting together.
The scene was
we're
cranked
gonna
the fuck
suck
up.
each other's dicks. We're gonna cook hamburgers, and we're gonna, you know.
It was a completely different
and we
vibe.
all supported each other and loved each other, and then now.
It's
now
just
it's
weird.
kind of weird now. I mean,
Watered down and mellow. Like everyone's
watered
strangers
down,
now.
Yeah, and then but to be fair, and I know this is gonna piss a lot of people off, but there's too much of the same shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like that Reaper dude we saw last week. That was the best shit I've seen at a fucking local show in a while. Like I love that dude. His storytelling was fucking great, and then just the beat selection and shit. It was just some shit that I would just drive around on a Sunday to, windows up, and just like got my shades on and fucking staring a cop down like I don't have a license.
Like the scene is, again, the scene now and back then they're like really, really different. And it's hard to tell these younger kids how it was back then because what they know, again, like I said, what they come up with is what they know. Like y'all just don't understand how different it was back then. When we do ATX shows at Tomcats in Dallas, it would be literally like tits to back from the front of the stage all the way out the door. People packed from both sides.
Yeah.
You literally could not walk one more person in there. Me and Nick and all of us, everyone supported. It was insane. The littlest shows were cranked the fuck up to 100, like 200. Like, you know, here's a funny story about what B was saying about the weirdos and everybody coming together. When we were doing ATX, we only did a couple of songs fucking around, you know. But we'd go do our shows. And at that show, at Tomcats in Dallas, I would watch as people come in. You got your different cliques. You had the goth kids, the skater kids come in. I even had country people coming in, redneck guys with cowboy hats. You had straight up just normal black people, normal white people, the pretty boys, gangsters. All these people would wander in. There was such a hubbub there going on. They'd be walking by on the street.
Yeah, like,
and they would see it. And I'd watch by the end of our set, or as at the beginning, you see all these groups, they're separated against the wall, huddled together, like checking shit out. And the music, when we went and did our thing, by the end of it, they were all mixed in there together. And it was just, it was insane. And I see the gangsters next to the goths, next to the redneck, and just on up. This whole room was just mashed. The music did that, and the scene did that. I'd go to the bathroom after our set. 7 foot tall ass cowboy guy come in there. Man, that shit was dope. I'm not exaggerating this. He's like, that shit was the craziest shit I ever seen. I was just in Dallas drinking, you know, with my buddies, and we seen all the noise. We come in here. It was amazing, dude. The music, I know it sounds corny, but the music was that powerful and the scene was that powerful that it would just draw people in. And every day, once it got rolling, it started doing that. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know what the death point was.
I think what happened was
it after Spider died, as far as the groups together?
Yeah, but I don't want to say that. That's not even a catalyst, and no disrespect, but I don't think that was
I just don't know.
That split people.
We just don't know.
I think what started happening was, you know, I don't remember ever having weekday shows, you know? And then, you know, that kind of turns people away, you know? And then...
People working.
Run a show on a weekday means it's cheaper, you know? And then, but you're going to lose to me, you're going to lose a bulk of people.
Yeah.
And then to compensate for the loss in that revenue... You make a show with 20 fucking acts, and you all charge them a little bit. Make them put in the footwork of doing the tickets, which is the thing. Like, yeah, you're supposed to
promote it,
you know, but not when it's 20 dudes, and that's why there's no interconnectivity or love in the scene because there's too many fucking people. And it's not that, you know, we're all trying to outshine each other or pulling each other down. It's just like. No one wants to fucking sit at one place. And like when we would have shows back in the day, back when Dallas Juggalos converted into the American Riff Raff, if we had large bill shows, the time frame matched that. It wasn't like we were going to be at the bar from 6 or 7 to 11 with, you know, 10 opening acts, 4 support.
Yeah.
2 headliners, you know? It was, all right, well, you know, come out when you want. We're going to start at 1. We'll probably end about 11 or midnight. And it wasn't like they were putting dudes back to back to back.
The marathon
there was
shows.
There was intermissions, and then also Tomcats Dallas had the boxing ring, so throwing a little boxing, you know. Chicks getting in there with the big ass fucking goofy gloves, beating the shit out of each other. It was a good time. But also, Deep Ellum was fucking a weird time back then.
It was weird.
What you talking about? It's still weird.
No,
they're phasing it out now, man.
Yeah, it's all like.
It's like a mini Austin.
If you get caught eating a cheeseburger in Deep Ellum now, you get a bunch of vegans trying to jump you and shit, you know.
That's what you tell them to eat a dick, bro.
Yeah, and because back then, like, a crackhead would walk up to you, he'd be talking to you, you'd be having a normal ass conversation. He's like, hey, I got this dandelion, you got $1? Like, here, fuck it, give him $1. That was his hustle. He'd become your friend. I was like, man, that's how you get him.
And the whole time, in the background, ICP and Twisted and the whole thing at that era was fueling all this. You know, they were the backbone that kept a lot of it going. And I guess maybe through the change of them too, because again, the question goes back to when did the scene start to change and fade and crack, whatever. I don't know if it was a combination of people starting to hate on their music. You know how they started saying, well, after this album, it just ain't the same.
When they dropped it, they were Christians. We got mad and left.
I don't know if that was a factor, but just something about the scene started to kind of water down and just it became apart. It's a shadow of his former self. You know what I'm saying?
But see, then like there's probably shit above us, like the promoters probably had interconnected problems. You know, there's so much other shit that factors into it. I'm getting older, but
egos,
but then like not because what sucked is back then, like, all the fucking good acts, they were all spread too far apart, and it's not like you can be like, hey, will you come down to do this show? They had to plan out a tour. It wasn't like, hey, we'll fly you out here, because that shit gets expensive for both parties involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, even if y'all split down the middle, went Dutch, like, hey, I'll go half on the plane, or, you know, I'll pay your gas and shit. Like,
it's just a weird thing that, like, now I've been through both eras and it just has a weird feel now, and I feel like an outsider. You know, I've been here this whole fucking time and I feel like an outsider. Like,
but see, that's another thing with the generational thing. Like, I mean, like D and all them, they weren't around then. You know what I'm saying? But that's not. I also don't want to be the guy that like sits there and goes, "Listen here, young whippersnapper, this is how it used to go," because they weren't around then. They were fucking kids. I was 15, 16 years old around
kids,
this time.
bro.
So they were like little kids. It's also a generational thing.
Yeah.
But
some of them are from other states also.
So in fairness to the comment that was basically said about how horrorcore, I don't want to paraphrase or misquote whoever said it, but basically they were saying something about how horrorcore just wasn't a factor or a big or whatever you're saying. I was like, yes, it was.
He's correct in a sense, but
you can't say
I think you're misinterpreting the context or the infliction that was supposed to be.
I guess in fairness, you can say, if you ask the question of now of how many horrorcore artists around here, you're completely right. There are none. Like, I myself claim horrorcore. I don't know who else does. I still do. I don't know who else is around here to claim it anymore. So that in that aspect,
but then
it's
also
fair to
you
say,
get the people out there that are like, oh, I'm not horrorcore, but like then again, it's a subgenre thing because people are like, no, I'm not horrorcore. I do dark rap or I do this kind of, and it's still all in the same veil. You're not fooling anyone. What you're just trying to do is get away from something that's generally perceived as corny. Like, you watch some of the horror movies, the whole point isn't like The Toxic Avenger. That's technically a horror movie. A lot of trauma movies can be considered horror movies because of their subject matter. Just because it doesn't induce... I could say some corny off-the-wall shit. It fits the genre, bro.
Yeah. Well, you got tip milkers that...
That's what I was about to say.
Okay, horrorcore again is like the bastard child. There was a phase back in the day where I didn't even claim horrorcore. I claimed horror rap, but it wasn't in the vein of how they do. Oh, I don't claim horrorcore. Like they see it as like a bastard thing. I was like, no, I just claim horror rap because I just thought it was my own little thing. But now, you know, I claim horrorcore. I'm like, well, if y'all don't want the shit, I'm gonna claim it and try to do it the best I can because horrorcore, it's a hard fucking rail to ride. Like, either you do it one way, it's a very hard genre to do. Like,
Yeah.
without it being cornball, terrible, cringy. You know, I'm not saying I'm the genius and I know everything about it, but I'm saying it's not an easy genre to do. It'd be like, imagine doing zombiecore. Zombiecore would be to do your whole entire gimmick of all your albums and all your music is about zombies. I've written zombie songs. I've tried to do a zombie song per album. It's hard. Without them sounding so that's a hard ass. That'd be a hard ass thing to do. So I get that about horrorcore, but a lot of these guys, they're fake as fuck. Like, again, I ain't saying no names, but like they'll want to claim that it's like the movie studio thing.
Yes.
They want to reap the benefits, milk the tit, but still
Don't wanna claim
it's like
it.
this. Let you know it's like this. I was like, nah, bitch.
No, I'm serious about my
Yeah,
dark and mysterious ways. Get the fuck out of
but
here.
yeah, you tit
Bro,
milkers,
I'll
man.
beat the fuck out of you.
Just fucking tit
You're
milkers.
not dark and mysterious.
Like, I get mad because am I considered an old head, or is that just for being old? Like,
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
no, he's more like a hip hop head on this, really.
Well, I mean, it's just like when I was 16 and then someone would be 18 and I'm like, you're so much you're an old man. it's that kind of bullshit.
Because I'm 39. You know, I got into this shit when I was 17, and I've been through all the fights. I mean, I almost went to jail for this shit and the whole scene. I mean, again, we could touch on the question of, well, what do you call this scene? What do you call what I'm talking about? Am I bitching about the underground local scene?
You might
Is
as
it
well
the
just
Juggalo
call it-
scene?
No.
Is it, what?
Just the scene,
what
bro.
exactly are we bitching about?
Just
Just
the
the scene.
music scene, because I'm pretty sure this same conversation about any kind of local bullshit, promoter bullshit, is said ad nauseum, state by state, city by city.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen people post fucking memes that were relevant to shit that goes on around here. It's not.
Because the reason why I
That's
asked,
why you don't. That's why it's not really like you can single anyone out, because this is it's an archetype.
it's a culmination. Like, yeah, like I'm
Like
not
even
saying.
Canada has rednecks, dude. I mean,
Yeah, like, I'm not saying this whole scene, I'm saying, oh, it's just the horrorcore scene. No, it technically was built even more so as the Juggalo thing, because again,
yeah, there was that weird.
the
time
Juggalo
where
thing
it
was the
nothing
biggest
but
seed of
that,
this.
That Juggalo rap, where it's like all those fucking wonky ass fucking happy-go-lucky beats and shit like that. Like,
Yeah. And it's an amalgamation of lots of things. I get that. But I'm just standing up for the horrorcore aspect and saying, hey, you know, this was a big factor, because ICP, they
Not
do
really.
horror rap, I guess, right? But it's not horrorcore. Like, to me, like you said, it's the wonky, friendly, like,
Well, see,
it's its own style.
That's
like,
another thing too. Is people like, no, they're not horrorcore, they're wicked shit, and it's like, well, this is
Kinda the
fucking
same thing.
dude. I mean,
Yeah.
come on now.
well, that's here nor there, I guess.
They're just Juggalo rap, bro.
Like,
Because they
Let's get
pretty
into
much-
that element real quick.
Bro,
Okay.
Juggalo rap and horrorcore are two different genres, though, to be
Okay.
honest.
I'm a juggalo. I've been down for 20 fucking years or more.
and
I'm a-
hey, wait, I also heard you are also a rapper.
Yes, but I'm not a juggalo rapper.
Okay.
Now, an average person goes, wait a minute, what's the difference, Bing? Okay, here's the difference between a juggalo that raps and a juggalo rapper. Okay, and it's going to piss people off. The butts are going to get soggy. And it's time to pull out the paddles. And I've been wanting to say this for a minute. And again, this is just honest, brutal truth. Nicholson, you can't handle the truth, goddammit. You heard me say in the movie, you know? Bottom line is, I'm a juggalo. That's the whole point of my existence musically, was because of juggalo shit. People, you know, whether you hate on all this shit, whatever, I will always be down. Because ICP and them saved my life in a lot of ways. When I was in high school, I was a fucked up kid. You know, I'd end up choking shit somebody, being in jail, dead, whatever. The whole classic cliche story people tell you about whatever music they were influenced by saved them. Well, they saved me. So I always got their backs as far as whatever happens, no matter what people hate, I'll never laugh, you know. We make digs about juggalo things, even big guys, you know. We all dig.
Nerd shit.
We
Fucking
dig on it, yeah.
juggalos are nerds.
But ultimately,
Fucking juggalos.
I'll always have their back, and I'll always be, you know, say, hey, I'm a juggalo.
Yeah.
But from day one, I said,
why I get
I am
feelings
not going to be in their shadow. Like, I was influenced by them, but I'm going to create my own little thing as best I can, whether I fail or succeed. I will not say whoop whoop in my fucking songs. I will not milk a juggalo culture term every other line to milk a cheap pop. I said, I will stand on my own or I will fail on my own. I said, I will not be in their shadow. So from day one, you can listen through all my fucking albums or whatever I've ever released. Very fucking rarely would I ever mention anything ICP. And I'm a juggalo. Again, it's not about being a poser. It's not about being embarrassed. It's not about none of that. It's about, I'm going to distinguish the two because I'm not that weak-minded.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be labeled a juggalo rapper. Now go back to the question. What's the difference? Well, the difference is me and some other asshole that claims juggalo rap. Here's an example. I'm imbued, however the word is, in juggalo culture, but I don't let that get into my music. I don't use that as a crutch to milk me a sale or a view or listen. Now, the juggalo rapper, they're the type that their whole world, their brain is ingrained, saturated, and fixed to ICP and culture.
It's pandercore.
It's their fucking life, yeah. And these kids, they've decided, ICP opened up an urge for me to want to rap and make this culture.
My name is Wicked Clown 17.
Yeah. And that sounds like a joke.
My name is Wicked Jeff.
I want to sit here and try to commercially pursue a serious career doing this. But I'm going to paint my face black and white exactly like Jay and them, wear clown shit, and my name has something clown, and this and that, and so on and so forth. And they want to legit do that. I'm like, no, don't do this.
It's almost like the people standing on the side of the red carpet, and Jay and Shaggy are walking down it, and they're like, hey, look at me, I got face paint, and I whoop whoop on my rap songs. Sign me, bro, sign me.
You know, it's like when you play video games, and you buy the strategy guide, and that's the official, legit one. Then you got the unofficial strategy guide. That's a motherfucker milking the tit, wanting part of it, but you ain't officially endorsed by psychopathic.
They're the cheat CC of rappers. You remember cheatcc.com where you get all your cheat codes?
But to be honest, bro, I think these motherfuckers will suck their motherfucking dicks just to get a fucking...
And I was never like that. Like,
they're blase rose.
Look. I'm not a gut. I don't do that. Like, that was like, to this day, dude. I swear on everything. If Violent J came today and was like, "Hey, yo, dog," or whatever, I want to sign Creature Click. And here's what I got planned. I was like, "No, let me stop you right there." I was like, "Dude, I've been down with you for 20 fucking years. I got it all. I got juggle up my fucking arm, the whole bit." I was like, "Let me stop you right there." I was like, "I do what I do. I've been doing what I do. If you like what I do, let me do what I do. Don't try to Vince McMahon me and say, here's what you're going to do. And turn me into some little gimmick. I don't want to be an extension of them. I never wanted to be. I was influenced, and that's where it stopped. And a lot of these poor kids out here, man, they're young, and they don't know. They think, well, I'm ingrained in this little culture, and that's all I know, so that's the thing I'm going to go for. I've had specific people 100% tell me in my face, we're arguing about this, about juggalo rap versus regular rap. And this person will not budge on their view. And he says, well, and I quote, if someone's going to do it, it might as well be us. And I was like, dude.
There's already people doing it. Their names are Shaggy, Too Dope, and Violent J.
I'm like, dude,
like, come on.
And you try to tell people this, and they get butthurt. The butt damage is fucking just non-repairable. I'm like, dude, use your imagination, come up with something else. Now, here's some fairness. People that know me, they can go, hold up, motherfucker, you're a hypocrite. What about Evul the Clown? What about this and that? Well, let me address this.
That's in WCP, bro.
Okay, let me address this, so I don't sound like a hypocrite. Now, I was, to a certain extent, that kid for a while when I was a wrestler. When I was a kid, I wanted to wrestle. I was obsessed. I said, okay, it was during the whole backyard wrestling era, back in the early 2000s, late 90s, when that was popping. So we created a wrestling group called Wicked Clown Posse. Now, I was like...
Fucking nerd.
We were fucking nerds. We wanted to wrestle, but it wasn't trying to be violent. It was just... We were influenced. We were juggalo wrestlers. We said, well, let's. So I guess I was kind of a hypocrite, but it wasn't intentional. And so my wrestling name was Evul the Clown, and I guess I was in a hypocritical way. I was like a ripoff Violent J and Shaggy, but that wasn't from the aspect of trying to be them commercially and like steal their shit and just do like they do. We quickly learned, nah, we got to do our own thing. So we changed the name. I never rapped as Evul the Clown. When I started rapping, I rapped just as Evul, EVIL. And then the Evil Dead thing came. That was original. People think Evil... Here's a tidbit of trivia. People think I got Evil Dead from the movie. And I didn't. That is one of the most common misconceptions. They would say, oh, you ain't original. You talk all this shit. You stole your name from a movie. I was like, no, I didn't. Yeah, Evil Dead was a combination of Evul the Clown and Dead the Janitor. It was the two gimmicks that I wrestled as. I literally just put their names together. Evil Dead. So that's where that came from. But I never, I will fight you if you say I tried to be a juggalo rapper. Or I tried to rapper. Like, put that shit out there. Like, and these kids, and there's so many of them. Stop. Fucking stop.
Yeah,
if you want to be taken seriously...
Wicked Clowns on the song.
Make your own fucking name, bitch.
My name is Little Jester Clown. All these kind of names like, you have to stop, dude. It's not about being a dick. I'm just trying to help you out, bro. Like,
Yeah, it's almost like, how many puppets do you know in California, Edgar?
Shit, a lot of them.
little puppets, like, dude.
Jesus.
That's like whether you fail or succeed, use your own imagination. Say, you know what, you may not get what I'm coming with, but at least I'm trying to be original. Like, I'm trying to. Like, when we do Creature Click, again, tell me, there ain't no other horror rappers that do what we do. So we're dipping into some old material. You know, I'm dipping in 1931 Frankenstein type shit, and classic horror, all this. If anything, I'm ripping off White Zombie, and I'll admit that. Like, he's one of our big influences. Yeah. But I'm not trying to be him. I'm not trying to be Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie is pretty much proclaimed to be, whether he knows it or not, he's horrorcore of metal. Like, literally all it is horrorcore metal.
I've been saying that for
sound clips. He's literally us, but
in metal.
And he don't even sing. He talk rhymes over his songs.
Pretty much.
But it's fresh. What he does it. He's got it down. Yeah. Jesus lived his life in a cheap motel in the edge of Route 66. Yeah, he literally just raps. Like, I was even going to do a cover of that song just to say, hey, that's how similar it is. But it's not like the Juggalo. Quit going for the cheap pops, man. Like, these fucking Juggalo kids, they may be like, who the fuck are you? Yeah, that's fine.
It's like going out in a crowd and going, I'm against rape. We get it.
Okay.
We get it. That's, yes, everyone, yes, we get it. And you're a Juggalo. Okay.
And wow. We don't really have that problem here locally. I don't think we really have any Juggalo rappers. Like, I really don't think we do.
Yeah.
But it's a problem that's everywhere else.
Where are you gonna tour?
I'll ask this question. This is a question. It's not a statement. That way, it don't make me a hater. Cody B, for you, I'll put you in the fire. I'll throw you under the bus. Is Kid Crusher a Juggalo rapper?
Yes.
So is Kid Crusher
but
milking like everything we just said? Is he the prime example of what we're doing? I'm just asking a question.
His earlier shit. He probably caught on to the lameness very early. There's a lot of them that do it. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of them that start out that way.
I'm not hating on the guy, but I've seen him online, and I'm just saying.
Or there's some around here that when they first started out, they were giving off that vibe because everyone was using it was a weird time for fucking beats too. They all sounded like fucking canned garbage clown music. And so if you had something that sounded like it was a circus beat, to me, you were a fucking Juggalo rapper. You were always lame. But then, some of them come out now and, like, they probably had someone pull them off to the side that wasn't even a Juggalo, maybe. Probably just someone that's sentimental with the fucking underground scene and pulled them out. Like, look, dude, your structure, your delivery, everything about you is fucking solid. Get away from that gay shit.
Stand on your own, man. Like,
be on your own.
Like, again, I never did the shit. Nick never did the shit. Now, we've talked about it. You can talk about, where you come from and all this. You can speak on things, but don't build your whole fucking structure off this shit, man. Like, the scene here was built on the backs, even more so than horrorcore. It's amalgamation of horrorcore and Juggalo. The scene was built on the backs of Juggalo culture. This whole scene was built on that. And we can come up from that. And that's your world. We all hung out together. We all acted... how we acted was a result of all that. Being in the culture of the Juggalo thing, going on to Scotty and all this, we were all there from the beginning as this happened, but there were really no physical representatives here as far as the scene that stood out. There weren't a lot of them, and again, there weren't a lot again that were doing Juggalo rap as far as around here. But this scene has changed to where it's just. I don't know. I can't explain it. I can't put words on it. Like I feel like an outsider in this era. Like I feel like a time traveler, kind of like, I'm not saying that as a hater, saying, "Oh fuck this deal" or "My time has passed." Nothing like that. It's hard to explain.
It's like a photocopy.
It's weird.
It's weird. You're like, oh, it looks original.
It's just weird.
But it gives you.
We got a lot of good guys here that are local.
Hell yeah.
And they're talented. And
there's a lot of them that, god damn it, I wish they would just...
Shut the fuck up.
or just get off. And I know addiction's a fucking struggle, but, like... fucking buckle up. Do something. Because you're fucking good and you just keep fucking up. And you burn bridges. And, but see, what I love about, like... I'm really not too active anymore, but what I love about our little fucking thing, it's like, fuck you, if you don't like it, fuck it, we're just gonna do it. And if you don't like that, we're taking up this room because we're doing it as a hobby. Well, suck my fucking dick because I don't give a shit.
So that's a problem.
I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do. If we want to do a show and fucking Cody wants to put all of his money into paying the tickets and giving them out for free, fuck you. That's how we're gonna do it. If you want to sit here and say we're not taking our shit serious, who gives a fuck? We're having fun.
Mm-hmm. I know I ain't putting out doo-doo. I know I don't put out shit, and that's what I'm saying with these other dudes too. Like, again, I'm not trying to say no names. I'm not trying to diss nobody. It's just the way that this is. Like, the scene, I was like, dude, the way I see it is, you look at your music the way you look at your mother, your father, your wife, your husband. You look at them, what would I do for this person? Well, how do I care about this person? And because of how I care about this person, how are my decisions decided? With my music, it's all about respect. If you create something that you genuinely care about, like these fuckers, they take what they do and they don't do it right, or they don't have enough respect for it. Like, I love what I do, and I've never claimed to be the best. I've never claimed to be, oh, you owe me this or you owe me this. But I know what my music's worth, and I know what I deserve, you know. And when it gets, like Cody says, in certain politics of scenes, isn't that you feel like you don't count or you're hated on for this reason? Who gives a fuck? Because I have respect for my music. I'm not going to put out just any garbage just to, for whatever mellow rest or sallow ass reason there is. Like,
you could be a garbage person, but not a garbage person, but you can be a garbage rapper, and and a great person, and I can listen to your stuff. I might not like it, but if I can hear your heart into it, being put into it, then fuck yeah, I'll ride with it, and I'll promote your shit. And I won't tell you that I don't like your shit to your face.
Because
I'll tell them if I don't like it.
If we do, it's not in the intention of hurting you. Like every person I tell, straight up, like Nasty Nutty, this guy, my own personal view, Edgar has his issues with this guy. Edgar's a grown-ass man. Nasty Nutty's a grown-ass man. I don't speak for these two men.
I don't know.
But just as I'm using Nasty Nutty as an example. I don't know this kid's history. I don't know where he's from. But he's relatively new here in the scene, been doing music for a couple of years. People roast this kid. They hate on this fucking dude. I've never really listened to a lot of his music, but he's always been a cool kid to me. He's come to me. He's asked me for advice. He's asked me, hey, what do you think about this? And I tell him from the get-go. I said, look, man, I love music. I love what we do here, and I will tell you the best I can to help you out genuinely. Whether your music's fucking terrible, whether I like this or that, or I hate this or that, or you need to work on this or that. I said, but just don't get butthurt if I tell you a blatant fact. Like, it's not with the intention of hurting your feelings or saying, oh, you suck ass. It's just like a Rocky, man. You got to keep, he hits you with them fucking truths, man. And that's the test right there of whether you get butthurt or whether you grow and you learn and you take it in strides. Okay, I asked to learn. I asked for advice. And so that's what I'm going to try to do. You know, again, we don't claim to be the best, but we just try to tell people how it is. We don't back down. Like, socially, right here, people don't like us. And I don't understand why. I'm like, dude, we have not done anything to anyone. Like, people hate us. Like,
I think it's because they pick up on the fact that we don't give a fuck about.
I don't know, man.
It has to be that.
Because I'm not gonna kiss nobody's ass. I don't expect no one to kiss my ass.
No, you like I'm gonna talk to them the same way I talk to you and Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna fucking come.
People know me. They know me. Cody Z, he's his own man. It goes around the fucking table. I can't speak for these people. You know, if Cody Z has something on his mind, he's gonna say something online. But again, even if you don't know him as a person, people may take things the wrong way. Yeah. You know, we all dig on each other. It goes around. Everyone does this. And people can choose to say, oh, should I seriously be butthurt over this, or should I understand it's just we're fucking talking shit pussy and playing around, you know? But if people get butthurt, you know, I'm like, well, it's not really my fault. You know, like if you choose to get butthurt, I said, I know what my intentions were. I know what I said and how I said it, how I meant it, you know? But people, or they just write us off like, fuck y'all. But when they're in our face, they're all friendly to us. Like, no, I don't do that, man. Like, don't be like that. Yeah. We don't put out shit. Like, I don't think we do. You know, you are completely welcome to not like my music. That's fine. I respect that. You know, but you're not going to come in my face and start talking shit just for the sake of talking shit. Because you'll get knuckles to the grill piece, like, and I mean that. Like, I will completely respect your opinion. If you say, dude, like I had one of my good friends tell me, I can't stand this fucking song that you did, or I can't stand this, or this. That's fine. It's about how you have respect for someone and you let them know. I will say, I'll throw myself in the fire, to be fair. If people want to hit me in the mouth for this, I'm not a fan of Tech Nine. I have never been a fan of Tech Nine. But that I am not a hater of this man. I have nothing but respect for Tech Nine. It just was never my cup of tea. You know, but it's sad that I can't say that without a lot of people getting ultra fucking butthurt and want to fight you.
Yeah, and I heard the other day too. I forgot who said it, but like nowadays there's no accountability. Like there was a few year period where you would call some shit whack, and then like you get called a hater so much, and you'll have fucking valid. Like you can come at it like a fucking scientist and have an objective, valid point as to why something is garbage, and then they'd be like, "You're just a hater, dude. You're just a hater." And then so you get all these people who used to call out shit back in the shadows because they're afraid of being called a hater because no one wants to be called a hater, and now no one has the heart to go, "Man, just shut the fuck up. You're not good." Now that's to say, because I'm not saying I'm good. I'm not saying we're good. I'm just saying, like, the people who aren't good but are still, like, thinking they're so fucking awesome and thinking that they're going to fucking make it and shit.
Egos.
Like, we know our fucking lane. We know where we are in this world, and where it goes is where it fucking goes. It doesn't matter because we're riding it.
Yeah. I'm not going to change what I do. I'm not going to change my style. I don't listen to music. I dissect it. An average listener, you got averages, then you got the people that are like us behind the curtain. Like when I hear a song, like I listen to Elvis, I listen to Johnny Cash, if you listen to my fucking playlist, you'd be like, holy fuck, dude. Like there's no limit to what I listen to. But I don't listen to it just to hear a song from the outset. Like I break that bitch open and I delve down deep and deep and deep and deep. That's why it means a lot to me. So I don't come at it with the perspective of an average person hating on you just to get a reaction out of you. Oh, that fucking sucks. Like Edgar fucks people all day. He trolls like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? He likes to just fuck with people, get a reaction. You know, it's just if it's just in good spirit, that's one thing. But there are people that are just fucking assholes. They say, you fucking suck or this sucks, just to fucking piss you off. Their job is to make your fucking day shitty. But that's not our intention. You know?
Yeah, I might troll and shit, bro. But I'm also gonna be real with your ass too.
Yeah, you know, and it's just, I don't know, this scene, again, I'm just saying out there right now, you know, we don't feel a part of this scene. And I know from the outset, there are a lot of people out there that look at us, they're like, oh, Creature Click, they're kind of assholes, like, they don't do this, or we don't see them doing this. Well, it's kind of hard, bro, like, when you just feel like people are just, don't like your bitch ass, you know, why you want to be around these people, you know, like, you know, and I ain't trying to sound like a pouty bitch, I'm just saying, like, it's hard to go somewhere where you don't feel like, you just feel weird, you know, like, and like, dude, motherfucker, I helped create this motherfucker. I feel it, what I'm saying a lot of times, like, bitch, I'm sorry, I want my fucking props. Like, I was here from the fucking beginning. Half of you fucks weren't even born yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm old as fuck. Like, I just wanna, you can diss me, you can hate on me, that's fine. But I was like, well, at least, you know, give me props, at least give me respect to what I did do. And you know, let my music, you know, have some kind of value. You know, but the scene here, we're not haters. We're not hating on everybody. I like what everybody's doing. Everybody's doing another thing. Again, we're all different. You know, we all have different cups of tea we sip about the styles we like, but we're all here ultimately because we're all friends, man. Like,
I don't know.
But it just sucks that it hurts you, kind of in a way. It hurts you that you feel like these people ain't really my friends, man. And a lot of this is cliche shit, but in this scene, we're all really fucking close. I'm talking about the D's, the Chompers. I'm talking these characters that are doing music. We're all in this fucking little universe we got here. We're fucking close to each other. And what I'm saying isn't a reflection on them. I'm just saying examples of how these names of all these musicians are here. That's how close we are. But you just don't feel like, not towards them, but just in general, you feel like, this sucks, man. That I'm so close to all these people, and it feels one way, but then when you get there, you kind of feel another way. Like, it shouldn't be like, I know we're all in the death match. It's kind of like a death match. We all spawn in, different points, different levels, different whatever, and you got to scramble, do what you can to make it out. And we're all in this race to do this music, you know. But it doesn't really help just being shitty to the next guy, you know. It doesn't really help just having this shitty ass attitude, like, you get what I'm saying. Like, that mood, that stank shouldn't be there, you know. Like, I've been with Nick. I don't even call him. Class. People know him as Class. I'll never call him Class. It's weird to me. Yeah. You know, I've known this boy for 20 fucking years or more. You know, look what he's done. Look what he's, you know, from the beginning. You know, I will never shit on him and take away or hate on this guy for what he's doing. He signed to M&E. He signed to fucking Nelly. He's making do. That is dope. That's my boy. You know. But I would never be like, I was there with him from the beginning. Like, in another dimension, if I wouldn't have fucked off, I had personal problems. If I wouldn't have fucked off, we could have probably kept doing ATX, and we could have done no telling what, you know. But I'm never going to hate on this guy out of fucking dick measuring or ego or treat him shitty.
Oh, you left me behind.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that shit that goes on around.
Yeah, I'm just not that kind of person. you know. And it's not about jealousy. It's just about my biggest bitch about this scene and what it's become is that, again, I just feel like I get shit on, and I ain't done shit to nobody, and I don't count. And that pisses me off. And I ain't trying to sound like a pouty bitch. If it takes it that way, then that's the way you take it, but it's not. I'm just like, dude, you know, we count, bro. We helped create the floor that you're standing on. But anyway, I think we've rambled on this bitch for a minute. We could probably make a part 2 to this. We can keep going on this shit. We probably could. I don't even know what time it is in this bitch. Not much else to say about this scene. Like, I tried to bring you up. I mean, we probably skipped out on a lot. Like, I can't literally sit here and tell you the entire history, but we kind of just brought you a brief telling of how it came to be. And I may be wrong on a lot of shit. If I'm wrong, put them in the comments. Tell me, hey, asshole, you're fucking wrong on this. Or put a timestamp on that bitch. Tell me where I'm wrong, and I'll be glad to talk to you about it. You know, this is just my POV of how I see it, you know. But ultimately, again, there ain't no negativity. You know, whatever we say ain't meant to diss. It's just honest truth, our opinion of what we think the truth is. Again, we're always open to hear it, you know. Yeah. I guess I'm out for this bitch. Cody B, he has to leave. He's got various things to do. Me and Edgar.
Just chilling.
We're just chilling. Next episode, I'm not sure what we're going to talk about.
I don't know. We'll let you know.
We have another.
We'll probably watch a movie.
We'll watch a movie.
And then we'll fucking talk about it.
We'll maybe play some songs on here, like whether it be ours or some local artist or something, and just talk about it. But anyway.
Talk mad shit.
I'm out.
You already know how I'm going to do that.
Oh, we're always talking that shit, bro.
This has been the Midnight Hour podcast, brought to you by Cemetery Records. Please join us next time. Goodbye.